Khloe woke to sunlight streaming through unfamiliar windows and the warmth of James's body beside her. For one perfect moment, she forgot about Peterson, the board meeting, the threatening message that had arrived last night. Then reality crashed back. She sat up abruptly, checking her phone. 8:15 a.m. The board meeting was in 45 minutes. James. She shook his shoulder. James, wake up. We overslept. He opened his eyes immediately, fully alert in the way that suggested years of crisis management. What time? 8:15. The meeting's at 9. He was out of bed in seconds, already moving toward his closet. Shower. Now. We can make it if we move fast. Khloe rushed to her room. The room that was supposedly hers, but that she hadn't slept in last night, and threw on the first professional outfit she found. Black suit, cream blouse, hair pulled back in a severe bun. Armor for battle. She made it to the kitchen with 10 minutes to spare. James was already there, perfectly composed in a charcoal suit, pouring coffee into 2 travel mugs. Drink this in the car, he said, handing her one. And Khloe, whatever happens in that meeting, don't let Peterson rattle you. He'll try to make this personal. Make it about us instead of about your work. It is about us. Our relationship is literally his justification. Then separate the two. Make them see that the campaign succeeded on merit before they knew about us. That your work speaks for itself. His hand cupped her face briefly. You've got this. She wanted to believe him, wanted to walk into that boardroom with confidence. But her hands shook as she grabbed her laptop bag. The car ride took 12 minutes. 12 minutes of James firing off emails while Khloe reviewed her presentation notes for the 100th time. They arrived at Glover Industries with 3 minutes to spare. The executive floor buzzed with tension. People avoided eye contact as they passed. Margaret waited outside the boardroom, her expression grim. Khloe, good you're here. She pulled her aside, lowering her voice. Peterson's been lobbying board members all morning. He's got Thompson and Chun in his corner. Possibly Richards too. That's almost a quarter of the board. He needs a majority to remove you from the campaign. 10 votes out of 20. Margaret's expression softened.
I'm sorry.
I tried to warn you that office relationships complicate everything. This isn't just an office relationship anymore, Khloe said quietly. It's real. Margaret studied her face. I believe you. But will they? She gestured toward the boardroom. That's what matters now. James appeared at Khloe's elbow. Ready?
No.
But let's do this anyway. The boardroom fell silent when they entered. 20 executives sat around the massive table, their expressions ranging from curious to hostile. Peterson sat near the middle, his smile sharp. Mr. Glover, Miss Parker, thank you for joining us. Peterson's tone was falsely cordial. I know this is an unusual meeting, but given recent developments, I felt it necessary to address some concerns about the Lux campaign leadership. Concerns you have, James said flatly, taking his seat at the head of the table. Not concerns shared by the board, since we approved the campaign unanimously 3 days ago. That was before we understood the full nature of Miss Parker's relationship with you. Peterson pulled up a document on the presentation screen.
I've compiled a timeline.
Miss Parker joined the company 8 months ago as a junior marketing assistant. She had minimal client contact, no campaign leadership experience, and standard performance reviews. Then, 3 weeks ago, she had a private meeting with you. Within days, she was assigned to a $3 million campaign. 2 weeks later, you announced your engagement. He let the timeline sink in, the implications clear. The optics are problematic. Peterson continued. It appears that Miss Parker leveraged a personal relationship to secure a position she wasn't qualified for. That damages our credibility with clients, shareholders, and employees who advance through legitimate merit. I earned that position, Khloe said, her voice stronger than she felt. The campaign approval was based on work quality, not personal relationships. Was it? Peterson turned to her, his expression pitying. Miss Parker, I'm sure you believe that. But can you honestly say you would have gotten this opportunity if you weren't sleeping with the CEO? The room erupted. Several board members objected to Peterson's phrasing. Others nodded in agreement with his sentiment. James's expression turned murderous. "That's enough," James said, his voice cutting through the noise. "Peterson, you've made your accusation. Now let Miss Parker defend her work. Then we'll vote on whether your concerns have merit." Peterson sat back, smug. "By all means, let's hear her defense." Khloe stood, moving to the front of the room. Her hands shook as she connected her laptop to the presentation system. 20 pairs of eyes tracked her movement. 20 executives waiting for her to fail. "You're right," she said, surprising them. "The timeline looks suspicious. And if all you consider is dates and positions, it seems like I slept my way to the top." Peterson's smile widened. "But let's look at what actually happened," Khloe continued, pulling up her presentation. 3 weeks ago, I developed a campaign proposal on my own time. Not because I was asked to. Not because I was trying to impress anyone. But because I identified a critical gap in our market strategy that was costing the company millions in lost revenue. She clicked to the next slide, the market research she'd compiled showing Glover Industries' declining share in the young adult demographic. This data was available to everyone in this room. But no one acted on it. Not the VPs. Not the senior marketing team. Not the external agencies we paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for strategic guidance. She met Peterson's eyes. "I acted on it because I understood something you didn't. I am the demographic we're trying to reach. I know what resonates, what fails, what feels authentic versus what feels like corporate pandering." Click. Next slide. The original campaign mock-ups, the ones Peterson had killed. "My first proposal was rejected. Killed by Mr. Peterson, actually, who deemed it too risky. But the core strategy was sound. So I revised, improved, strengthened the weak points. Then I did something that apparently no one in this company does. I went directly to the CEO with a solution to a problem he'd identified himself." She pulled up the quarterly projections James had criticized Thompson for during that first board meeting. The meeting where she'd spilled coffee and been humiliated. Mr. Glover publicly stated these projections were unacceptable. That he needed solutions, not excuses. So I provided one. Not because I wanted special treatment, but because I had something valuable to offer. Click. The revised campaign presentation. The one she and James had rebuilt together. This campaign exists because it's brilliant, because the strategy is sound, because the numbers work. She looked around the room, meeting each executive's eyes. "My relationship with James Glover is real. It developed over the course of working together. But it didn't create this campaign. My talent did. My work did. My willingness to take risks that terrify people like Mr. Peterson." "Impressive speech," Peterson said. "But it doesn't address the fundamental conflict of interest. How can we trust that your continued involvement isn't based on favoritism? That Mr. Glover won't give you preferential treatment, overlook mistakes, protect you from accountability?" "Because I won't," James said quietly. Every eye turned to him. "Miss Parker's involvement in this campaign is contingent on results. If the campaign fails, she's terminated. If it succeeds, she's promoted based on that success. Our personal relationship doesn't change professional standards. You expect us to believe you'll fire your fiancé if this campaign underperforms?" Peterson's skepticism was clear. "I expect you to trust that I've never let personal feelings interfere with business decisions." James's voice turned cold. "I've fired friends, terminated contracts with family connections, made decisions that cost me relationships because they were right for the company. Why would this be different?" "Because you're in love with her," Peterson said simply. "Everyone can see it. Which means you're compromised." The accusation hung in the air. Khloe waited for James to deny it. To claim the relationship was purely professional. That feelings didn't affect judgment. Instead, he said, "You're right. I am in love with her." The room went silent. Khloe's breath caught. "I'm in love with her intelligence," James continued, his eyes finding hers. "Her courage, Her willingness to challenge me when everyone else in this building is too intimidated to tell me the truth. And yes, that complicates things. But it doesn't change the fact that she's brilliant at her job. That this campaign will succeed because she understands the market better than anyone in this room. He stood, moving to stand beside Khloe. You want to vote her off this campaign? Fine. Cast your votes. But understand what you're really voting for. You're voting to prioritize perception over performance. Politics over results. You're voting to tell every ambitious young professional in this company that talent doesn't matter if the optics are complicated. The silence in the boardroom was absolute. Peterson looked slightly less confident now. Several board members shifted uncomfortably. I'll make this simple, James said. We vote. If the majority believes Miss Parker should be removed from the Lux campaign due to conflict of interest, I'll reassign her. The campaign will continue under Peterson's leadership. Peterson's expression brightened. However, James continued, if the vote fails, if even half this board believes she earned her position, then we proceed as planned. And Peterson, you'll apologize publicly for questioning her credentials and commitment. That's not, Peterson started. Those are the terms. Take them or withdraw your challenge. James's voice was steel. Vote now. Thompson raised his hand. I want to hear from Miss Parker directly. Not a presentation. Not market research. I want to know why you believe you deserve this opportunity despite the appearance of impropriety. It was a fair question. Khloe took a breath, centering herself. I don't know if I deserve it, she said honestly. Deserve is a complicated word, but I know I've earned it. I've worked 80-hour weeks for 8 months trying to prove I belong here. I've taken on projects no one else wanted. Stayed late when everyone else went home. Pushed myself to be better, smarter, more creative than my lack of experience would suggest. She gestured to her presentation, still displayed on the screen. This campaign exists because I saw an opportunity and seized it. Because I was brave enough or stupid enough to walk into the CEO's office and demand he listen. That's not sleeping my way to the top. That's fighting for what I know I can deliver. And the relationship? Chin asked, her voice neutral. How did that develop if not through professional manipulation? Khloe glanced at James. This was the moment. They could lie, maintain the fiction that the relationship had always been genuine. Or they could tell the truth and face the consequences. It started as attraction, Khloe said carefully. The kind that's inappropriate in a professional setting. We both felt it. We both tried to ignore it. But working closely together, spending hours discussing strategy and vision, feelings developed. Real feelings that had nothing to do with career advancement and everything to do with recognizing someone who challenges you to be better. Convenient timing, Peterson muttered. Right when you needed protection from scandal. You're referring to the leaked photo, James said. The one that forced us to announce our engagement earlier than planned. Yes, that timing was convenient. But the relationship itself? That was genuine. Complicated and messy and completely unprofessional. But genuine. So you admit the engagement announcement was strategic? Peterson pounced. Damage control, not love. The announcement was strategic. The engagement itself is real. James's voice was firm. There's a difference. We accelerated our timeline to manage public perception. But the commitment? That's authentic. Chun leaned forward. Mr. Glover, with respect, you're asking us to trust your judgment while admitting your judgment is compromised by personal feelings. How do we reconcile that? You don't, James said simply. You accept that humans are complicated. That we can love someone and still hold them accountable professionally. That personal relationships don't automatically mean favoritism or corruption. He paused. Or you vote her out and prove that this company values appearance over substance. Your choice. The challenge was clear. Vote against Khloe, and they were admitting they cared more about optics than results. I'd like to propose an alternative. Margaret spoke up from her seat near the end of the table. Miss Parker continues with the campaign, but with additional oversight. If the results match her confidence, she's proven herself. If not, we've protected the company's investment. Agreed. Another board member added. Peterson looked frustrated. This is still showing favoritism. You're creating special accommodations. We're creating accountability, Chun interrupted. Which is what you claim to want. Or was this really about removing Miss Parker entirely? The implication was clear. Peterson's motives were suspect. I want what's best for the company, Peterson said stiffly. Then you'll support the compromise, James said. All in favor of Miss Parker continuing with the Lux campaign under Margaret's oversight? Hands rose around the table. Khloe counted quickly. 14. More than a majority. Motion carries, James said. Miss Parker retains her position. Peterson, the apology. Peterson's jaw worked. For a moment, Khloe thought he might refuse. Then, Miss Parker, I apologize for questioning your qualifications and implying impropriety. I hope the campaign succeeds. It was grudging, insincere, but it was public and witnessed. Thank you, Khloe managed. I won't let the company down. The meeting adjourned. Board members filed out, some offering congratulations, others avoiding eye contact. When the room finally cleared, only James, Khloe, and Margaret remained. That was closer than I'd like, Margaret said. Peterson almost had enough votes. But he didn't, James said. And now we move forward. With oversight, Margaret reminded him. Which means I'll be watching everything, making sure there's no appearance of favoritism. Can you both handle that? Yes, Khloe said immediately. Margaret looked at James. And you? Can you separate personal and professional with me documenting everything? I've been doing it for weeks, James said dryly. I can continue. After Margaret left, Khloe collapsed into a chair. The adrenaline crash hit hard, leaving her shaky and exhausted. You were incredible in there, James said, pulling her to her feet and into his arms. The way you defended yourself owned the narrative. That was perfect. I almost lost. Peterson almost won. Almost doesn't count in business. You survived. That's what matters. He kissed her forehead. Now comes the hard part, proving him wrong, making this campaign the success we both know it can be. No pressure. Massive pressure. But you thrive under pressure. He stepped back, professional distance restored now that they were alone in his office building. Go. Get to work. Show them what you're capable of. Khloe returned to her desk on the 15th floor, technically still her official workspace, even though she was living on the 29th. Her cubicle felt strange now. Too small. Too ordinary after everything that had happened. Tyler appeared almost immediately. Holy shit. You survived the Peterson Inquisition. Barely. But you did. That's what counts. He lowered his voice. For what it's worth, everyone on this floor thinks you deserve that campaign. We've watched you work. We know you earned it. The support meant more than Khloe expected. Thank you. She dove into work, trying to ignore the stares and whispers. By noon, her phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Her stomach dropped, remembering the threatening message from last night. But this message was different. Well played in the boardroom. But Peterson was just the opening move. The real game starts now. Enjoy your victory while it lasts. Khloe's blood ran cold. She forwarded the message to James immediately. His response came within seconds. My office. Now. She found him pacing, phone pressed to his ear. I don't care what it costs. Find out who's sending these messages. Every resource, every contact. I want a name by end of day. He hung up, turning to face her. This is escalating. Who do you think it is? Someone who knows Peterson's challenge failed. Someone who expected you to lose and is angry you didn't. His expression was grim. Someone inside the company who has access to board meeting information in real time. Another board member? Possible. Or someone connected to one. He pulled up security logs on his computer. I'm having IT trace every email, every phone call, every system access from the board members' offices this morning. Someone made contact with whoever's threatening you. We'll find the connection. Khloe's phone buzzed again. Another message. Tell Glover to stop investigating. Or the next leak won't be about your fake engagement. It'll be about what really happened the night you moved into his penthouse. The things you did to secure your position. I have video. Her hands shook so badly she almost dropped the phone. Video? James read over her shoulder. What video? We disabled the security system in the penthouse. There are no cameras. Unless someone planted them, Khloe whispered. When your staff moved my things. When Victoria had access to your apartment. James's expression turned thunderous. If Victoria planted cameras before we confronted her, then whoever's threatening us now has footage of our first night together. Of everything that happened. Khloe felt sick. They could release that. Claim I seduced you to secure the campaign position. That's not what happened. Doesn't matter. That's what it would look like. She paced his office, mind racing. We need to find those cameras. Disable them before anything else is recorded. I'm calling my security team now. James was already dialing. Complete sweep of the penthouse. Every room, every device, every possible surveillance point. I want it done in the next 2 hours. While he coordinated the security sweep, Khloe's phone rang. Her mother. Sweetheart, I just saw the news. Her mother said without preamble. Something about a board meeting challenging your position? Are you all right? I'm fine, Mom. It's handled. Handled how? They're saying James showed favoritism. That you got the job because of your relationship. They said that. The board voted to keep me on the campaign. It's over. Is it? Her mother's voice was gentle but firm. Khloe, I love you. But I need to ask. Did you get this opportunity because of him? The question hurt more coming from her mother than from Peterson or the board. I got this opportunity because I'm good at my job, Khloe said, fighting to keep her voice steady. James gave me a chance to prove it. That's all. And the engagement? Is that real or strategic? Mom. Because if it's strategic, if you're protecting each other from scandal, that's different from being in love. And I need to know which one this is. Khloe closed her eyes. Her mother deserved the truth. But the truth was complicated. It started as strategic, she admitted. But it became real. The feelings are real, Mom. Everything else might be messy and complicated, but what I feel for him, that's genuine. Silence on the other end. Then, okay, I believe you, but sweetheart, this sounds exhausting. Are you sure this is what you want? Was she? Constant threats, corporate politics, people questioning her credentials, living under a microscope. It was exhausting, overwhelming, sometimes terrifying. Yes, Khloe said. It's what I want. After hanging up, she returned to James's office to find him coordinating with his security team. There at the penthouse now, preliminary sweep found 3 cameras. Bedroom, living room, and office. 3 cameras. For how long? Based on the device specs, they've been active for 5 days. Since the night after Victoria helped move your things in. 5 days. 5 days of footage showing them together. Working, talking, kissing. Everything that happened their first real night together after they'd made the relationship genuine. Can we disable them remotely? Khloe asked. Already done. But whoever planted them has the footage up until 10 minutes ago. We need to assume they have everything. Then we're trapped again. Another blackmailer with another threat. Not trapped. Informed. James's expression was calculating. They want us to stop investigating. Which means our investigation is getting close to something they want hidden. We push harder, not pull back. Even if that means they release the video? Even then. He moved closer, his hands settling on her shoulders. Khloe, we can survive a video leak. It's invasive and violating, but it's not fatal. What we can't survive is backing down every time someone threatens us. That's not strength. That's surrender. Easy for you to say. You're not the one who'll be labeled a seductress who slept her way to the top. You're right. I'll be labeled the corrupt CEO who let his mistress infiltrate the company. We'll both be damaged. His eyes held hers. But we'll survive together. That's the difference. Before Khloe could respond, James's phone rang. His head of security. "Talk to me," James answered, putting it on speaker. "Sir, we've analyzed the camera data. The device is transmitted to a secure server based overseas. We're tracing it now, but whoever set this up knew what they were doing. Professional-grade equipment, encrypted transmission, multiple routing points. Time estimate on the trace? 24 to 48 hours. Maybe longer." James cursed under his breath. "Not fast enough. What about the cameras themselves? Any identifying markers? Purchased through a third-party vendor 6 days ago. Cash transaction. But we pulled security footage from the vendor location. Got a face. Send it to me. Now." 30 seconds later, James's email pinged. He opened the attachment, a grainy security photo showing someone purchasing the surveillance equipment. Khloe leaned in to look, then froze. The person in the photo was someone she recognized. Someone she saw every day. Tyler, her cubicle mate, her work friend. The person who'd congratulated her less than 2 hours ago for surviving Peterson's challenge.
No, Khloe whispered.
"No, that's not possible. You know them." James studied the photo. "Tyler. He works in my department. He's been nothing but supportive. He wouldn't." But even as she said it, pieces clicked into place. Tyler had access to her schedule. Knew when she'd be at James's office. Could have easily planted cameras when Victoria arranged the move. "Why would he do this?" Khloe asked. "What does he gain? Let's ask him." James was already moving, grabbing his jacket. Where is he now? Probably still at his desk. But James, we can't just confront him without proof. The security footage is proof. He bought the cameras. He had opportunity and access. James's expression was granite. "I'm done playing defense. Time to go on offense." They took the elevator down to the 15th floor. Khloe's heart pounded as they approached her department. Tyler sat at his cubicle, headphones on, working on his computer. "Tyler," James said, his voice cutting through the ambient office noise. "My office. Now." Tyler pulled off his headphones, looking confused. "Mr. Glover? Is there a problem? You tell me." James held up his phone, showing the security footage. "Want to explain why you purchased surveillance equipment 6 days ago?" Tyler's face went pale, then red, then carefully neutral. "I don't know what you're talking about." "Really? Because this footage shows you, at an electronics store, buying hidden cameras with cash." James stepped closer. "The same cameras we found in my penthouse this morning." The office had gone silent. Everyone was watching. Tyler stood slowly. "I'd like to speak with my lawyer." "You'll need one." James gestured to security guards who'd appeared as if summoned. "Escort Mr. Chun to a conference room. He's not to leave the building or contact anyone until we've finished our investigation." As security led Tyler away, Khloe's phone buzzed. Another message. "You found Tyler. Congratulations. But he's just the messenger. The real power behind this is someone you trust. Someone close to both of you, and they're about to make their final move. Tomorrow, 2 p.m. Press conference. The truth comes out. All of it. Unless you want to negotiate." James read the message over her shoulder. "They're escalating. Using Tyler as a distraction while they prepare something bigger. Tomorrow at 2. That's the Lux campaign launch press conference." "Exactly. They're planning to sabotage the launch. Expose us in front of the media, clients, everyone." His jaw was tight. "This isn't random harassment anymore. This is coordinated. Professional. Someone wants to destroy both of us, and they're willing to burn the entire company to do it. Who has that much to gain from our destruction? I don't know. But we have 24 hours to find out." He turned to face her fully. "Khloe, this is your out. You can walk away. Resign from the campaign, end our relationship publicly, distance yourself from the fallout. I'll understand." She should consider it. Should take the escape route he was offering. But looking at James, at the man who'd defended her in the boardroom, who'd stood beside her through blackmail and threats, walking away wasn't an option. "No," she said firmly. We finish this together. Whatever comes tomorrow, we face it as a team. His expression softened. You're sure?
I'm terrified.
But I'm sure. She took his hand. Someone wants to destroy us. Let's make sure we destroy them first. James smiled. Actually smiled. That's my girl. Okay. War room. We have 24 hours to identify the threat, neutralize it, and launch this campaign successfully. Let's get to work. They returned to his office, pulling in Margaret, the head of security, and James's legal team. For the next 6 hours, they analyzed every threat, every message, every piece of evidence. By midnight, they had a suspect list. 3 names, all with motive, all with opportunity, and one of them was definitely behind the coordinated attack. The question was, which one? And could they expose them before tomorrow's press conference destroyed everything? At 1 a.m., Khloe's eyes burned from staring at screens. James ordered food, actual food this time, not just coffee, and they took a break. We'll figure this out, he said, handing her a sandwich. We always do. Do we? Or do we just survive crisis after crisis until something finally breaks us? Then we survive until we're strong enough that nothing can break us. He pulled her close. I meant what I said in the boardroom. I love you. That's not fake. Not strategic. Just truth. I love you too, she whispered. Which is why this is so terrifying. I have so much to lose now. We both do. But that's what makes us dangerous. People with nothing to lose are reckless. People with everything to lose are focused. Strategic. Lethal when necessary. His phone buzzed. A message from his head of security. Found something. Conference room. Now, they practically ran to the conference room. The security chief had a laptop open, video playing. Office security footage from 3 weeks ago, he explained. After hours. Watch. The video showed someone entering James's office. Someone with access and authorization. Someone who knew exactly where the security camera blind spots were. Someone they both trusted. The figure moved to James's desk, inserting a USB drive into his computer, downloading files, company secrets, client information, personal data. Then the figure turned toward the camera for just a moment, face clearly visible. Peterson. It's been Peterson all along, Khloe breathed. Not Tyler. Tyler was just hired muscle. Peterson's been orchestrating everything. But why? James stared at the screen. He's a VP. He's successful. What does he gain from destroying the company? The security chief pulled up another file. Financial records. Peterson's been embezzling for 2 years. Small amounts carefully hidden. But they add up to nearly $5 million. If an audit happens, he's exposed, James finished. So he's burning everything down. If the company is embroiled in scandal, no one notices the missing money. And we're the perfect scandal, Khloe said. The fake engagement, the conflict of interest, all of it. He's been fueling the fire, hoping it consumes everything. James's expression was deadly. Not anymore. Tomorrow at that press conference, we don't defend ourselves. We go on the attack. We expose Peterson's embezzlement, his manipulation, everything. We turn his weapon against him. That's incredibly risky. Yes, but risk is what got us here. Risk is what will save us. He looked at her. Are you ready? Tomorrow would be the biggest gamble of her career. Her reputation. Her relationship. Everything on the line in front of the media, clients, and competitors. I'm ready, Khloe said. Let's end this. Peterson's been exposed as the mastermind behind everything, but he's got one final move planned for tomorrow's press conference. Will Khloe and James successfully turn the tables and destroy him first, or will Peterson's final play destroy them all? Subscribe now to Urban Folks TV so you don't miss episode 7, where everything explodes. Comment your predictions for the press conference showdown, and smash that like button if you're completely addicted to this story. Episode 7 is the ultimate confrontation. You won't want to miss it.